Welcome everybody to the Scott County Lady Cards Coaches Show with Coach Steve Helton. We have special guest Lauren Boehm here this week, and we've had two games since we were last here. A couple of good wins for the Lady Cards. And Madison Southern the first one of those two, and a pretty complete performance, I thought, by the team overall that night. Maybe a little hiccup in the third quarter, but other than that, good effort all the way around.
You know, we've played 3 games so far, and the one thing that we have in common is that third quarter. Maybe it's just halftime. Maybe it's me. Maybe whatever I'm
Won't
saying.
you come in and give a halftime speech?
Maybe whatever it is. Just at halftime, I don't want to ask more. Whatever's going on at halftime, but hey, 2 11th region wins for us Friday night against a Madison Southern team who returned all but 2 players from last year's team. A very big, very physical team. They come out pressing us, which we were a little shocked. They come out pressing and they stayed in it. And I thought we really attacked it well, and got the ball down the court well, and then come back on Monday for a 11th region game as well as a 42nd district game, which we really want to get off on a good start this season, and we want to control our own destiny with seeding, and Monday night gave us a chance to, for now, get that number 1 seed.
Mm-hmm. And Madison Southern, going back to that game, just a team that starts 5 seniors. I mean, anytime a team has that much experience, you got to be concerned maybe how a slightly younger team will react, but you got to be happy the way you came out of the gate. I think it was 16-0 right off the bat.
Come out with the press, and we were very active. I believe that night we had over 30 deflections, and when we're getting that many deflections, that means we're getting the ball up and down the court, because usually off a deflection we're going to get a steal, and I believe we had almost 80 possessions that night, and again, 80 to 90 to 100 possessions a game for us, that's a dream.
Lauren, we'll bring you into this discussion. He said he wasn't going to ask you what it was about halftime and third quarters, but from your perspective as a senior, you've seen a lot of second halves and a lot of highs and lows during a game. Is it just a little bit of human nature that you get ahead and maybe let up a little bit, or what are you seeing out there?
I just think we've just played 2 quarters. We come in and we just kind of relax. We just kind of think, okay, we're up. We can let go just a little bit, but when we come out third quarter, we realize that we can't. And I think it's going to get better. I mean, the first couple games, we realized that that's not going to work against a good team, and so we just got to get better at it and learn that we got to play 4 quarters every single game we go out.
Actually, it was almost like the second quarter in the Sayre game that kind of was a little bit of the beginning of it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What was it about that night? Was it just you got the big early lead, and a district game sometimes a team will come back like that, or?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Sure, we scored a lot of points. We put 31
right.
First game, first quarter. I believe against Madison we had 29, and then we come back with 30.
Yeah.
Those are some big number quarters, and
big halves the first 2 games,
yeah.
51 and 56, I think.
And that's good. I mean, that means we're making things happen, and it does allow. It is human nature. I mean, from a coaching standpoint, and in Kentucky, once it gets to 35, it goes running clock.
Right.
And you have that sizable lead with the running clock. It's tough to come back, and I think the kids know they're very intelligent players. Even from a coaching standpoint, I can sit here and say that we don't, but you also kind of take that deep breath and you start thinking about, okay, well, let's get ready for our next game as a staff, and that's an area that we're all going to work to get better at, and we will.
Because you knew coming into this week it was going to be a busy week, and with a couple of big games at the end of it too. So I'm sure a tendency after you get that big early lead on Monday to say,
Absolutely. I mean, especially with 2 district games back to back. And now we go on the road, and we've not been on the road yet.
Mm-hmm.
We went on the road on scrimmage, but now this will be on the road in a hostile environment. Henry Clay is very, very athletic, so this will be another test for this new team. They're young, and we've had some success early. How are we going to respond on the road? And I mean, hopefully we have another 30-point quarter, in the first at Henry Clay. But how are we going to respond on the road? And then we're going to come back and got to bounce right back and play Boyle County, who has one of the top scorers in the state of Kentucky. We took one on the chin at Boyle County last year. So again, putting us in these type of situations now will hopefully prepare us for January and February.
Lauren, you had those 3 home games right off the bat. You kind of get into a comfort zone, I'm sure, but how is the routine different for a player going on the road? Obviously, the bus ride is different, but I mean, is there a different mental frame of mind you have to be in?
Well, you gotta know that you're going into someone else's house. I mean, we're used to being in our house, and you gotta go there and make sure that everybody knows that, you know, we can play at your house. We can compete with you. Everybody's gotta go in knowing after the bus ride, you still gotta get out and go play. So.
Is it tough to make yourself at home in someone else's house? I mean, obviously the fans tend to travel well from Scott County. That's a good thing. Really
no. I think if you're going out there and you're playing, it's not gonna matter where you're at. It's just getting out. You gotta get out there and play first. You gotta settle yourself then at someone else's gym in someone else's house.
Mm-hmm. You're obviously playing a team in Henry Clay that you're pretty familiar with. What do you have to do to be successful against them on Thursday night?
You gotta keep playing. You gotta play hard the entire time because they'll battle with you. They're not afraid to get on the floor with you. You gotta get in there, rebound. You gotta know how to score. You just gotta keep playing the whole game.
I believe they already played their first district game, didn't they, the other night against Bryan Station?
Yes.
How did that go?
Yes, to be honest with you, they were down for the majority of the game big, and they made some adjustments and battled. It was a 1-point game. And they come out on the short end, so they're going to be angry coming into their house first game. Eric does an incredible job, Henry Clay, and Warren said it best. Those kids are going to play hard. They're going to play for 32 minutes, and we're going to have to match their intensity on their home floor. They want to bounce back from a big district game. We want to keep momentum on, going with us. It's just going to be a good test to see where we're at. And we're going to be a team that's going to come in and want to be the aggressor. And now we're going to have a team that's saying they're going to be the aggressor. And so it's going to be kind of to see who's going to will the other one over and who's going to take care of the ball both ways.
Different sort of challenge. Friday night, you go outside the district, and as you mentioned, a team that has a proven scorer, kind of someone that has that mentality. How do you approach that? Probably the first player you've seen like that this season. Without asking you to give anything away, how do you attack that?
To be honest with you, with the kids, the only team we've talked about is us today. We will prepare for Henry Clay, and we've been preparing, but so early in the season, our game plans are more about us. I do know that we're going to come from a very aggressive style game on Thursday night. We're going to bounce back on Friday night, and we're going to be able to guard them. She is proven night in and night out she can play. So we're going to approach that game just like we have the first 4 games. Early on in the season, we want to take care of us. Our scouting reports are not as detailed as they will be as the season progresses because we still need to find who we are. We're still, we've had a lot of success early. Well, we need to find out how we can have success late. We need to find out how we're going to respond when we get punched. I don't mean literally punched, but I mean how are we going to respond when our team comes out of the gate and jumps on us? Because it's going to happen. The scared we play, it's going to happen. So. Again, we're going to talk to our kids about taking care of us. We will talk about Henry Clay tomorrow before we get on the bus. And then we'll talk about Boyle County, Thursday night after the game, just briefly. And then come in here on Friday and get ready for just an incredible battle on Friday night.
Lauren, when he talks about who us is or who we or who Scott County are, what do you see as your team's identity for the first few games? It looks like you guys are a team that it could be a different person every night or even every quarter step up.
I know we're a family. I know all of us, every single one of us has been playing together forever. And I know that we know how each other play. And when one of us is down, we're all down. And that's probably why we change so much. If one of us isn't doing their job, we all try to get out there and we got to change somehow. So I know we all play hard. So we get out there and do that, it'll be okay.
You're getting a lot of sparks from different people. I think in the Sayre game, it was Bradley McMath coming off the bench and giving you a lot of good minutes and some points. And other nights, it's been unsung heroes here and there. Is that the kind of team you need to have, I would assume, going forward to be successful?
I'd love to be able to say a little more. I'd love a little more consistency. But. And I believe we talked about early on, we have depth. We have that ability to, if we are struggling, to make some different moves in the rotation. And you know, from a coaching standpoint, it's tough to sit there and say, well, who's on tonight and who's off. But at the same time, it's good that you look down the bench and have moves to make. You know, and it's just human nature. You're not going to come out and you know, shoot the ball, you know, 75% every night. I mean, if you are, then you know you have a great future ahead of you, you know, in college and in the WNBA. But you know, it's one of those situations where on any given night, it could be, you know, like you said, I love the way you said it. You know, it could be someone different. From a coaching standpoint, man, I'd love to have consistency and know that, you know, so and so is going to come out. You know, one's going to come out and get 20 a night. But you know, when that doesn't happen, or foul trouble, you know, we've yet to see foul trouble yet.
Yeah.
And we're going to see foul trouble. Hopefully not Thursday.
The boys saw it last night.
We're going to see it. You know, how are we going to respond? How are we going to respond in that situation? So, lots of questions that we're going to find the answers for.
Has defense kind of evolved though? Because you can have someone come out of the gate shooting the ball like Peyton Riddle has a couple of times, and other teams are just going to shut that down, right? I mean, they're going to shut that down, and someone else is going to need to step up. That seems to be the way it is in this day and age.
You know, the way the game is played, they talk about freedom of movement. They talk about freedom of, they want the game going as fast as possible. And with us, the way we play, we don't run everything through one player. We don't run everything through two players. We want everybody involved. You know, I joke and I cut up with them sometimes saying, you know, one of these days you're going to have a coach that says, you know, 10 passes before you shoot. You know, the old Dean Smith. Now, I love Carolina, but our option is shoot first, pass second. And, you know, when you have that much freedom, it's hard to key on one player.
Are you allowed to say I love Carolina here in Central Kentucky? Is that?
Everything we do is Carolina based, and that's why if you see it, when you see a zone, Carolina struggling against a zone, and you know, maybe I'm giving away too much, but you know, right now we struggle against the zone. The system is geared to go so fast, so you know that's a flaw that we'll figure it out.
Coach has said to me plenty of times this year, we're better when we don't have to run set plays. Is that kind of how you see it? You like to be running?
We like to go. we like to run and go, get in and go.
Is that just because of the athletes this team has, or why is that?
I think we all have a mindset of we just always want to be going. We need to be moving. So slowing us down it is a weakness that we have to work on. But yeah, I think we're mindset of just go. Get it and go.
We've talked about the next two games coming up this week. What's at the beginning of next week before the next time we see the folks that are watching at home? Any games on the horizon?
Incredible road schedule. We go to North Laurel, you know, which will be a very difficult place to play. You know, they're very well coached. They're very strong. They're a very physical team. And then the end of that week, we go to Louisville Mercy.
Oh, wow.
Which
Mercy.
Again, you know, we're going to be tested.
Yeah.
You know, we're going to be tested at home as the season progresses, and we're definitely going to be tested on the road.
After all these home games at the start, you're on the road for like a month, right?
You know, by the time we get back from Texas, it'll be over a month by the time we get back home, and then but everything we do is for a reason. You know, we want to be prepared, and you know, to play the best, you got to be. You know, to be the best, you got to play the best. And we're definitely going to put the kids in some difficult situations, and hopefully we'll learn from those. And you know, our goal is to get better every game out, every practice out, and hopefully at the end of the year put this thing together.
That's it. Well, let that be the last word until next time. For Coach Helton, for Lauren, I'm Kal. We'll see you on the sidelines.